Freaking out there. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
What do all the men with power want? More power.
My name is luca-zanna. I was an Italian by birth, and I became an American by choice. Our lives and freedoms are in danger. This is not a dream. If you're listening to this broadcasting, you are the resistance.
All systems go.
Welcome to Love, Guns, and Freedom.
We're not afraid.
Here we go, guys and girls. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna on K-Talks 1340 AM and also 104.1 FM. Don't forget also to go to lovegunsfreedom.com if you want to listen to us on the internet. All right, another Sunday, another show. I must tell you, today I'm celebrating. People say, what are you celebrating? I'm celebrating freedom. Believe it or not, we are in government shutdown. Anything change in your life? Well, first of all, we're still here. We're doing our life, and things seems to do fine. Everything seems to be fine. The fact that we are so brainwashed that we must have government or governments in our life to function, to be alive, that's kind of almost, I don't know. It is part of the game. We've been brainwashed. Don't get me wrong, we need a little bit of government. Little bit, very little. The problem is that with governments in general, it's like a baby. More he eats and more he gets hungry because more he gets bigger. So there is no really sort of self-control to see or to stop how government can get big. It's our founding fathers, I really believe, tried a great experiment to create a government for the people constrained by the Constitution. But unfortunately, even with the Constitution and everything else, I think it's part of just, the evil part of government. It is exactly the one connected to the human nature that is part of humanity, who's trying always to boss somebody else around, to try always to dominate somebody else. So that's the problem we have. We went from an idea of small government, and now we are in this sort of abusive government that even in America, compared to other countries, where, somehow we still have something that nobody else has, our founding fathers gave us a very unique opportunity to completely live in a different form of government. Still, we became something that is hard to recognize. Now, I have with me a friend that I really consider a brother in freedom. His name is Ken Rhoades from Michigan, and I would like to share with him a little bit, first of all, the latest from Clive and Bundy. Ken was with me the day in the famous, or infamous, depends on the point of view, standoff, as the government wants to call it, in Bunkerville, Nevada, in 2014. I call that one of the best, most important days of American history, at least of this century, to remind government that we, the people, we are the one that, after all, we are in control, and we have the rights. I didn't say just the rights to not only to exercise our First Amendment, freedom to assemble, and also to express our opinions, but also to defend ourselves in case, there is an act of violence, unjustified violence, or tyrannical government. It's called the Second Amendment. And I'm so glad, that we had that opportunity, and also, more important, we exercised that right. Anyway, Ken Rhoades, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Luke, and thanks for having me on. And Luke, I want to say something about the Bundys that day. It came out in trial because I was down there. I flew back in to hear what the judge had to say on the 8th. And they looked at the reason she dropped all these charges against them. They actually had a kill list with 140 names on it that they were going to kill. I think they planned on killing us all, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But
wow.
Then it came out that the FBI had snipers on the ridge. And they denied that all the way through the trial, so the attorney finally forced it out. Then they also had where they were surveilling the Bundys, like 2 weeks. They were surveilling their house and every phone call they made and everything out of that house.
Wow.
So they knew exactly what they was doing, and they knew about what they was doing when they sent the sheriff over to tell us that they were leaving, that we'd go down and get the cattle, and they were waiting on it. So this is a very evil government.
Yeah.
And she dropped all the charges on Cliven, Alman, and Ryan. And I forget who the other one was the other day. But anyway, the next one's coming up. She's already asked the attorneys to file a motion for dismissal with prejudice. With prejudice means they can't never bring the charges back. So that was a great day for America's freedom. I don't know whether most of your listeners realize or not, but it's a great day for our freedom.
Yes, you know.
And then I'm going to get into something else, Luke, because it's kind of off subject here. That they got papers all about Hillary Clinton. I don't know if you heard it or not. And all the Republicans who went down and read these papers, and they're all saying American people need to see this. So everybody needs to call their congressmen and senators and tell them, make those papers public. Because they're saying there's going to be people who go to jail and maybe even treason for what was done with Hillary Clinton and all the rest of them up there.
What type of paper are we talking about, Ken?
Obama too.
What type of papers are we talking about?
I heard a big day when they bring those papers out and let the people know that they don't care about us at all.
Ken, what type of papers are we talking about? More specific, is like a document, like things that come out from WikiLeaks. I mean, what type of papers are we talking about?
Yeah, so I think they did come out from WikiLeaks, and Mueller, and that's what got Mueller on the Russian dealing with Trump. You know, the conclusion or collusion, whatever they call that.
Yeah.
All them papers, it tells exactly what they done. This includes Luca, our Department of Justice, and the FBI was all trying to stop Trump from getting elected. And they talk about buying insurance in case he did get elected. And all them papers are coming out, and they say, boy, they said this is bigger than Watergate, all that. They say it's huge. And they've been speaking on Fox News, a couple of senators, and they're saying if the public gets to read this, which they should, and they say they will bring these papers out. I hope they do, because they said there's people that's going to go to jail behind these papers, what they were doing.
You know, Ken.
And I think Mueller might be included in on that too.
Yeah, listen, you know, Ken, it's unbelievable. Even before the papers you're talking about, we have already so much evidence that nobody else in American history, especially, I don't care about government or no government. It's just supposed to be equal law. We're supposed to be all under the law in the equal way. The point is that we have with Hillary and the situation that we had behind her, a complete travesty of justice that regardless, the party affiliation, I don't care. This never happened before in American history. We have everything from Benghazi to the situation that we know very well with the 30,000 emails and more at the server, the lies under oath, and the cover-up by the FBI director, and of course now we have the more information about the uranium and the Russian connection, selling our uranium. And I hit in the Clinton Foundation. You could write a book that will last, probably would be longer than, I don't know, than a Bible, okay? This is amazing. And still, we had to fight to even bring charges. Even with Trump at the helm, even with supposed to be, Jeff Sessions, that's supposed to be a man that supposedly supposed to represent the justice, especially because he's not even party affiliated to the Clintons. Guess what? We know that they really have something on everybody. Because the fact that Jeff Sessions recused himself even to bring an investigation over this, that's something that is amazing. Do we have justice still or not? Besides the situation that we have with the Clive and Bundy and a few of them, it almost was a miracle in my opinion. Because honestly, I will start to hope. I will start to really lose hope in every way. Let's not forget that there are still people that they are spending time in jail. The same type of trial with the Bundys, and they've been sentenced and they have felonies on their back. So, what do you think happened first of all with this judge? Judge Navarro, why she had this big change of heart?
Well, I think Trump told Sessions to send an investigator down there and find out what was going on. Because 3 days before she released him, the first time she released him with anklet bracelets and halfway houses and all this, they were trying to get released, and she said, these people, they're a danger to society, they won't show up, blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff. And then 3 days later, all of a sudden she comes in the courtroom and scolds the prosecutor for not telling her about the kill list. And Larry Woods is the one that put that out. He went to BLM at the time this happened. And he took it to the attorneys and showed them all the papers, the kill list and stuff. So a lot of things are coming out that this government is very evil. And I have people now tell me that all of these Hillary Clinton will never be brought to justice. Well, you know what? I used to believe that, but I don't believe it now. I think we're fixing to start seeing stuff. I think they're fixing to start coming out.
Yeah.
Then they shut the government down. And Luca, let me tell you something about when they shut the government down. I wouldn't care if they shut it down for 10 years.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Luca, if you take a vacation and you don't work, do you get paid? All these millions of workers they got up there, which we need about 1/10 of them, they're all going to get paid.
Yeah.
Everybody gets paid but the military will get paid later. I think all the congressmen and the senators, they all should lose their pay, and they shouldn't get it back. If you're not working, you shouldn't get paid.
Yeah, I agree.
Go ahead.
I agree. No, first of all, comparing the public sector, okay, in any way, state, city, and of course federal beyond limits. I mean, and the public and the private sector, it's insane. I mean, if you compare a private worker at the same type of rank with the public worker, even just the entry position, the benefits, the vacation, even the basic salary, they are treated like a little semi-lords. I mean, not semi, they are completely another class. And that's, for me, right there, it's a big problem. They're supposed to be public servants. We are the freaking serfs here. That's the reality. And more important, we've been brainwashed so much that we need so much government in our life that we never really, our founding fathers never even thought to have such a government. And there is, now look at today. I mean, the government supposedly shut down, and our life is still going pretty well. And by the way, I think it's doing better. We have, just to let you know, one interesting number. Let's say, just to give you an idea, out of 80, I mean, how many? 80 or 83% of the IRS workers, they are today at home, right there. We have a miracle. I mean, I think it should be happening every day. We don't need the IRS, period. Our founding fathers never envisioned a nation with the IRS, just to give us an idea. So there is so much more that we should somehow understand. Now, what do you think about the fact that, they are using this government shutdown to almost blackmail us? Because we know there are some services that we need, like let's say the armed force and some sort of a basic justice. I mean, right now, between Trump, the Democrats and the Republicans, what do you think is the end game? Because at the end of the day, I'm kind of surprised, not really, but I'm kind of shocked even Trump considering to change, or at least he had considered to change many positions that during the campaign, it was pretty much firm. Like, for example, the fact that this DACA, this giving amnesty to the children of children, they're not even children, to let's say the children, yes, sons and daughters of illegal aliens. I mean, now out of the blue he thinks that is okay. What do you think? It's like just some political game, or maybe Trump is, as usually, is just trying to do what other politicians do. They go with the wind. What do you think?
Oh, I think, Luca, that they call them the dreamers and all that. Well, you came here illegal. I don't care how you got here. Your parents brought you, or you walked across the border, they carried you across. You're still illegal. And I can see somebody's point where if these people never been in trouble, never been arrested, maybe there should be some way to citizenship. Maybe they should have to go back to Mexico and sign up again to get back into our country. I don't think but the Democrats, they want to bring all the foreigners in because they figure it's going to be votes for them later, and it's more than just votes. They were actually trying to bankrupt our country, bringing all these immigrants in. And I'm not against any human being, but stay in your country. Don't come over here to ours and expect you're going to change us what you just came from.
Yeah.
If you want, that's what you want to do, stay in your country where you got a dictator.
Exactly.
We don't need one here.
And another thing, Ken, I'm a former immigrant myself, okay? So I don't think anybody else better than me can understand also the the feeling of the situation for somebody who wants to come here. Okay, we come here because for sure we left something that wasn't that good. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. But there is a point that, first of all, as I said many times, to come to America or to any other country that is not your native country, it is not a birthright. It's a privilege, number one. So you cannot demand like, oh, it's my right to come to America. After all, there are 7 billion people out there. How many people you can let in, okay? That's number one, or maybe the most important thing, defend the sovereignty of your borders. But also, from a point of an immigrant myself, that I'm still trying to bring it up. By the way, right now I consider myself just an American, no more even an immigrant. I was a former immigrant. I'm trying to bring, for example, some very close relative into this country, like my mother, okay? She's an older lady, and by the way, we don't need anything. I'll take care of her. I just want to be left alone with her. 2 years of hell, paperwork, and documentation, and fees, and still, I don't even have a chance to have what I'm supposed to have my mother here. And she's old. She may die any time. So I don't feel any type of sorry for people who broke the law and they think they just can have a special, treatment when the rest of us, people who follow the rules, right or wrong, something for sure we should improve, like remove some bureaucratic aspect, especially for people that already here, part of this country, like myself. I mean, this is insane. I mean, I don't think it's right that we have people. Let's say tomorrow somebody, commit a robbery, rob a bank, okay? And okay, there are this money from the bank robbery. Guess what? Yes, we're gonna forgive you for the this money that they spent. They spent for the family of the bank robbers. Guess what? They will gonna be okay. You can keep the money. We will probably, forgive you for that. The robbery is already done. If you broke the law, you broke the law. I mean, that's the point. And more important, we have other people that they have the same type of opportunity we like to have to come here, and it is not right that just because your father or your mother broke the law, at this point you must say, okay, I didn't do it. No, unfortunately, yeah, you didn't do it. But my point is, you still are here in a way that should not be ever happen. That's the point. So that's my point. I wish everybody had the opportunity to come to America. The point is, this is an opportunity, it's not a right. But more important, we should all follow the same laws. That's my opinion, at least the same procedures. Now, I wanted to give you one more thing I was going to ask you. We've been talking about targeted individuals. Honestly, since I met you, you were the one that woke me up on this situation. I talked to you about last week that sometimes, I realize that we all somehow target individuals in those days, especially for our political ideas, especially in the digital world. I mean, they can completely shut down a website, they can shut down a Facebook page, they can shut down a blog, or they can put you even in the rankings. Let's say Google can put in algorithms that you're never going to be found. You think it's possible that, for example, I was telling you my story just a couple of weeks ago, last week, that I'm going to probably play today a little recording from this credit card processor company that about in April of the last year, they shut down one of my websites and without even my knowledge. And they shut down the opportunity to be having credit card processed. So I was receiving orders, but I never received the money. And the interesting thing, when I called them, they told me that they shut down my merchant account just because the security team of this credit card processor said that my name, it's linked to more than 12,000 URLs or websites. And for them was enough of a flag. So is this something you think maybe is part of being targeted, or just was some stupid idiot working at one of these offices?
No, I think, look, to be honest with you, I think everybody in the United States is targeted. Most of the time they don't get the torture that a lot of us get.
Yeah.
So they use a weapon on us. Some of them, they use different type of weapons. If everybody wants to Google up Operation Choke Point, that's where, I know one girl that they shut every one of her bank accounts down. They shut her PayPal account down. She could not get, she went to Walmart because she had credit there where she could get like $5,000. She couldn't get, they let her have $500 is all they give her. But other than that, they shut everything down on her. So this is what our government has come to, where if they don't like what you're doing, they just shut every bank account down. People say they can't do it. Well, go Google up Operation Choke Point. They'll tell you. Then on the target individuals, people should go to a website called biggerthansnowden.com.
Okay.
Biggerthansnowden.com. They'll tell you all about the target individuals. William Benny's even on that. He's on that website.
Yeah.
So we're coming to some treacherous times right now, Luca.
Yeah. No, it is. Go ahead.
I read an article today that said Trump re-signed up the surveillance law where they can still surveil us. Now, why would he do that when they use the same thing on him?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure he signed it. Just read that in the article. But if he did sign that, they use that on him. Why would he sign that for all the Americans to be spied on?
Exactly. I talked about this last Sunday, and as I said, there are some things about Trump that give me a little bit of hope, because at least I see that it's not a complete 100% distraction. It could be like, for example, Hillary or even other Republicans out there. It still at least seems like he was trying to keep some part of our sovereignty and some basic common sense things, like on immigration. But then you start to see that when it comes down to facts, you start to completely compromise. And then, as you said, this FISA bill, that's something that you should very well know how they abuse it against him. And he wasn't just exactly a regular guy. This guy, not only, even before he was a president, he was probably one of the most powerful men in America. And he is one of the most powerful men in America. But the point is, they were able to use completely with lies all this intrusion and collecting information that they were illegals anyway to collect. So think what they can do to the rest of us. And he knew, and he knows, that is a complete show. It is just the destruction of our Fourth Amendment, that there is no more really an oversight. It is unconstitutional, but still he voted for it. He signed it for it, and he approved it. So there is also his signature. So at this point, my question is, who is really Donald Trump? Is part of the show? Is just like another puppet, try to create the diversion or this sort of antagonist situation between like almost make it look real, or maybe it is being paid off, or maybe just they have something on him. Who knows? What do you think? How can make sense something like that he supported it, or at least he signed it?
Okay, here, look, if you remember, they used the dossier that Steele wrote up on him, and that's part of them papers. Who paid for that dossier? Hillary Clinton paid for it. The Democratic Party paid for it. So all that's in all these papers that the Congress and the senators are trying to bring out right now. So they use that dossier to go to a judge to get a FISA court so they could spy on Trump. That was before he became president. He was a civilian at that time. He wasn't even in office, and they were spying on him. So to me, I was hoping that when this all came out, that he'd see that and say, you know what, I'm not going to sign that back in the bill where they can spy on Americans.
Yeah.
Period. They should not be allowed to spy on any American unless you're a criminal and they know you're doing things illegal. But it comes out that our FBI was doing everything that was illegal. Even the CIA and the Justice Department was involved in on this. And these congressmen are saying there's some high up people in there and they're still in office.
Yeah.
So, yes, this letter, all these papers should come out and let all Americans see what our government's been doing.
Yeah,
I think we're entitled to that.
Yeah, and I hope we can see this kill list. This is important because I tell you, it's freaky to think that a government is conspiring against people. By the way, first of all, even if everybody is innocent until proven guilty, and we found out that most of these people, they were completely innocent, okay? But more important, nobody deserved to be justice, to be, let's say, even like this is like a vigilante operation. Really, the government is the latest vigilantes, okay? Killing people just because exercising their right to express themselves or to assemble. This is insane. Or even just to stand for their properties or what they believe. Give me a break. That right there should be a real criminal charge and a felony charge for real conspiracy against innocent people, in this case the American people. So I hope we will do it. By the way, I said many times, I always remember the day we were together there that day, and I said, till I die, it's gonna be one of the most important days of my life, because for me, especially coming from a country like Italy, where there is not really the right of the people to exercise these rights. You know, the Bill of Rights doesn't exist in Italy, okay? And that for me what really makes war to be an American, to do the things we did that day, even just be there and stand up for what we think is right, and more important, to document all this stuff. You know, we were there, you know, I was there as a reporter, and also as an American. You were there, you know, really fearless. You know, you were a senior man, and I said, you know, I remember the day you also got a big gash. I think you what happened to you? You fell on your face. I mean, something happened. You got a big bleeding on your face. What happened that day? Remember?
Yeah. I was coming down the embankment, and they had about a 30-foot cement, you know, going straight down almost. And some guy tried to help me down it, a younger guy. And when he fell, he had a hold of my arm and he pulled me down. Yeah, I was coming down a 30-foot embankment, and I mean, my pants and knees were tore out of, my shoulders was all scratched up,
wow.
My shirt was torn up, my face and everything. But I still went to that front line.
Yeah.
Because you know what, Luca, I believe if they killed me that day, it was God's will that I was supposed to be there.
Well, for sure.
And I really believe that's the day.
Yeah, no, I agree. For sure, was a special day, you know, and was for me was a magical day, as I said. Made it worth all my opportunity to come here to this country and to see things and do things that I never could have done in Italy. And I have something to say about that, you know. I have people, for example, especially on Facebook, that when they don't like my post, you know, I'm very critical with this government. Yes, I am. But to be critical with the government doesn't mean that you don't love this country. Honestly, I think it's a proof that you love it even more. Because this government that we have today, it is not the government that we had and our founding fathers left for us. This is completely an aberration. This is completely a travesty. So I hate when they start saying, oh, if somebody doesn't like this country, it's time you leave. And of course, they always try to be the sarcasm, to try to put this thing on me because, of course, I wasn't born here. Of course, I don't even get mad. You know, honestly, I feel sorry for them because I really believe that these people are the reason, or at least one of the reasons why we are at this point. Because I always say this. First of all, let's say your country, in this case, compare it like it was your house. If your house was invaded by roaches, okay, are you going to do? What are you going to do? Are you going to leave the house? No, I'm going to call the exterminator and get rid of the roaches. Now, our government, this country, in this case, is being invaded by evil people, by really corrupted evil bastards that they are taking over. They took over. Right now, even with Trump, we can see this, call it the swamp, you want to call this the deep government, whatever you want to call it. There is this sort of a tyrannical government that is hidden inside our official government. And these bureaucrats and these politicians that never go away, they took over this country. Now, things that we have today are not the things that we used to have. So it's for example, income tax, the Federal Reserve that is private, and how to cover this country, all things that we must address, all these let's say, abuses of, let's say, regulations and permits and everything. This is not what our founding fathers left for us when they fought and died during the Revolutionary War. So my point is, I don't want to hear it, oh, if you don't like this country, it's time to leave. No, I say, if we don't like this country, it's time to stand up, and if you have to even scream, that's the first thing we can do, is at least speak up. And that's what we try to do. And when we speak up, it doesn't mean that we don't love this country. It means that we love it even more than the average person, because we are not afraid to at least try to expose the problem and the corruption. What do you think about these people that they always tell us, if we don't like this country, it's time you leave or move?
No, you know what, Luca, they're 100% wrong or 1,000% wrong. Because Alman Bundy doesn't even want to sue the government after it kept him 2 years and almost bankrupted his family and his country and everything else. He don't want to sue because he said the taxpayers are paying. Yeah. You know the way I look at that, Luca? The taxpayers, they didn't stand up and stop this government, so if they have to pay, we have to pay.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer. If they do you wrong, there should be some recourse where you get paid for your 2 years in prison that they kept him and put him in the hole for like 60 days because he wouldn't submit to their strip searches and run their fingers in his body where they shouldn't be at.
Yeah.
They did that trying to make him submit, him and Ryan both. They didn't do it to the rest of it. They did it to him and Ryan.
Yeah.
And when they wouldn't agree to it, then they put them in the hole for like 60 days.
Yeah.
So yes, I think they owe this family a lot of money. And even I've heard now they're going to start a lawsuit for all of us that was down in that gully that day protesting, that we're going to be able to sue also. That's why. You know what, Luca? I hope they do that, because I'll sure put my name on that lawsuit.
Yes.
Because I had guns pointed right at me.
You know, one thing I believe, first of all, we should have the opportunity to sue not just the government, but the individuals, because these people, these prosecutors, these, let's say, BLM agents, all these people, they did wrong. And so far, you know, if they didn't do wrong, I mean, the judge, of course, and the evidence, these people, I mean, the Bundys will be still in jail, okay? And we know just the tip of the iceberg, because many of these part of this document, they've been somehow hidden, or at least they've been kept under lock right now by the judge. We don't have access to all this travesty. We know just that the case was dismissed with prejudice because the overwhelming evidence that this government is corrupted against this, especially in this trial. So my point is, these people that who did this evil, they should be sued individually, not just hiding behind our tax dollar as government officials. Also, I believe, I mean, if me, you, or anybody out there conspire against an innocent person in try to deprive their rights, or let's say put people under false witnessing in jail, and you know, and many other things that we know happen to these Bundys and everybody else out there in this trial. Guess what? If you lie to a federal agent, it's a felony right there. These people lied to us. These people conspire against us. They shouldn't just have, okay, guess what? Too bad, you lost, that's fine. Another case, or we sued you under the government. No, they should be, in my opinion, criminal charged. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I think they should be, as well as suing the government, you should be allowed to sue. Like Daniel P. Love, I know you've seen him.
Yeah. And
he was the head of that operation. Everybody should be able to be sued that was involved in they're pointing guns from Americans pointing guns at protesting Americans.
Yeah.
That, to me, it don't get any worse than that. It doesn't get any worse than that. When you got your own government employees that are willing to kill you as a citizen, just like they did Lavoy Sennington up in Oregon. That was American citizens that killed him.
Yeah, it was murder. It was murder. It was innocent, because at the end of the day, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. And more important, we know that everybody else involved in that situation in Oregon was innocent, was found innocent. Listen, Ken, I want to thank you. I need to take a little break, continue with the show, and I want to give you the floor as usually. You got the last minute, whatever you want to say.
You know what, Luke? I appreciate you letting me come on and speak. But let me tell you one thing, Luke. I don't know, when you came to this country, I bet you had to get vetted, and you had a lot of things went on before you could get in this country. Am I right or wrong?
Oh, yeah, listen, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. It took me 7 years, not 7 days, 7 years to go through every process of assimilation and also paperwork, bureaucratic, whatever it is, even if it's wrong, but that was the situation. I follow it. And as I said, at the end of the day, I really believe we are not just we don't become Americans with a piece of paper. It must start from our heart, because that's the first thing I would like to have from any, let's say, person who comes to this country. It is not just about following the rules. Of course, you must follow the procedures, but to find out in your heart what you really want. What you want to do. You want to bring what you left with you, or you want to become part of this new country that is still a new country. It's an incredible experiment that I believe, even with the imperfections, even with the corruption that happens to every, humanity, this, after all, we are made of humans, this government is made of humans, but still, the foundation that our founding fathers gave us, they are unique. No other nation in the world ever had this opportunity. So now it was very hard, but I am grateful for every second I had the opportunity to do it.
Right, Luke, and when people tell you if you don't love it, you should leave it. I love America, and I want to change it. I want to change it for the better. That's what I tell people when they tell me, oh, if you hate this country so bad, why don't you leave it? No, I love this country. I want to change this country back what it was.
Yeah. Exactly. I want to
Anyway,
change it
Luke,
back the way it was. You're right. Listen, Ken, thank you very much. Say hi to your lady, okay?
I will, Luca. Thank you for having me on.
Don't go away. Stay there. I'm going to have a little break, and I'm going to have you there. Stay there. Okay, guys, a little break. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna, and now we come back. Okay, I have incredible news. Please stay with me. Don't go away.
It is time. Get your Arizona Concealed Carry Permit now with Arizona Concealed Carry Permit by Zanna Enterprises, LLC. Become a more responsible and educated gun owner. Carry legally concealed in 35 states. Carry permitted in restaurants where alcohol is served. Learn where and how you can legally carry a firearm in Arizona. Learn where you can use deadly force. When can you display your gun or not for self-defense? Learn how to deal with law enforcement while carrying a firearm. Learn how to be aware of your surroundings and how to avoid a confrontation. Buy your gun without waiting for a background check. Get your Arizona Concealed Carry Permit now. Go to www.azccw.us. Go to www.azccw.us. Free for single mothers and people with disabilities.
Here we are. We're back into the studio. That was Ken from Michigan. I tell you, this part of the show when we talk about freedom, like for example this segment that we just had, I believe it is the essence of the show. And, I could talk about just things, but I think the importance that we understand that our rights, wherever we are in the world, are under attack. And one of the biggest instruments of, let's say, oppression against our freedom, unfortunately, it is the government. It has been the government since the beginning. Was at the time the king or the prince or the queen? It's always the government that somehow now just change or evolves. Now instead of having one person to destroy your life or to rule over you, it is a bunch of people that supposedly you elect, but at the end of the day they are selected, and sometimes they never leave office anyway. So really nothing changed. We're supposed to have a really small government, a government that's supposedly supposed to take care of the basic things. Like, for example, we're talking about the basic, the foundation, the judicial system, because at least we don't need to kill each other in the streets. We don't want anarchy, okay, in that way, or that type of anarchy at least, okay, where people can just, with violence, take over other people's rights or property. No. The basic would be a judicial system, a government that can take care of, to protect the borders. And I'm very, as much, I'm kind of a libertarian, I'm very pro-freedom, but when it comes down to sovereignty, I believe that every country should have the right and the duty to defend its borders, because a country without borders, it is not a country anymore. And of course, they will be invaded, not just by a military force, but also by, let's put it this way, a part of humanity that could change your country from within. Look what's happening in England. Look what's happening in Europe, in Italy, in Sweden, even in America. When you have, completely uncontrolled immigration or even migration, because this is not exactly what I call a legalization of immigration. This is like just a migration movement created by the elite, by the way, by design. It's not just a spontaneous movement anyway. It would be bad enough. What we have here, we have a complete destruction of sovereignty, and there is no assimilation. You will find balkanization, and more important, you will find then along the way a complete the destruction of all your, let's say, core belief and form of government that your country used to have. I mean, think about Europe. Even it's not perfect. England, Italy, whatever government they have, now with the new invasion of Muslims, I mean, think about, they're living already in Sharia law, under Sharia law. Parts of Italy, or part of Germany, part of England, they're under a new law that is not even anymore the law of let's say, society. It is under theocracy, under the belief, the religious belief, the completely distorted and evil, in my opinion, the religious belief, okay? I would never like to live under religious belief. I don't like to live under the Pope. I don't like to live under the freaking, whatever, Allah, whatever you want to call him. But for sure. Now we have a new, really violent side of the theocratic belief. When you have, countries like, for example, as I said, many of Europe right now taken over by a specific group that they will change from within. So we got to really watch that, in my opinion, the borders. Now, what we do to defend ourselves as individuals, at least in America, we have something that no other country has, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately because I don't take pride to say we have this and other people don't have. I wish every human being, no matter which part of the world, they should have this basic human right, the right to defend yourself. Not only to defend yourself, but also to defend your freedom. Because the Second Amendment wasn't a right to say, okay, I need to defend myself against criminals. Yes, that of course, it's the preservation, the right to self-preserve yourself and to defend your life. It's a human right. But to defend your freedom against anybody, they could be foreign or domestic. Our founding fathers did not give us the opportunity because, after all, they fought for this. You know, the people before the Revolutionary War, they were subjects of the crown. Let's not forget. So it wasn't a right. Now this is our right because somebody before us died and fought and gave everything they had. So the point is, in America, we have this right, at least in some states. Unfortunately, many states, they've been already been invaded and they've been also taken over exactly by the same type of let's say, invaders, that they can change the country from within. Okay? My point is, there are right now many states under assault that they already have a very bad gun legislations. But, for example, some states, like, let's say, we have Washington. Washington used to be a decent state for gun rights. Now it's been taken over. Let's say, committee, they already passed the ban for trigger modification. Okay? I mean, there are already situations that they're trying to stop, create more laws, unconstitutional laws, to deprive the basic rights of keep and bear arms. So this is very serious, okay? Now, what we do here in general as Americans, we gotta be informed. We cannot just let this, okay, I'm here, one day I will vote in 4 years, 3 years. No, you gotta talk. You gotta go out and inform people. As I said, I do my little radio show here, try to inform people, try to educate people. You can do the same in your own community. Because first of all, if you really understand that the Second Amendment is a right that at the end will defend all other rights. When it comes down to freedom, look what happened also at the Bundys, the standoff. Law-abiding people, innocent American, they were threatened with the use of force. They told us that we were shooting at us. The government was ready to shoot at us. They pointed loaded rifles at unarmed American people. Yes, some of us behind us had rifles, but why? Because the government in front of us just told us that we could not even exercise our basic right to peacefully assembly, and they told us to disperse, otherwise they will shoot us. That's not going to happen. This is not China. This is not Europe. The American people have their right. So that's why I want to really make people understand this is so important that, even if you don't believe in the Second Amendment, that's fine. You may not have a gun. That's fine. But think about it. Think about it, what type of right we have here to defend our lives and our freedom, with the people. This is not just, as I said, something that, oh my gosh, we're going to have a right to keep a atomic bomb. No. This is an individual right for individual small firearms that at the end defend your persona, your individual, but also when we get collective together, because enough of us understand that there is, let's say, evil out there. At the end of the day, this is our government. And the people has the right, according to the Declaration of Independence, to create governments and also to destroy government if they want to. I mean, go to read I didn't write that stuff. I mean, of course, I'm paraphrasing it now. But go to read the Declaration of Independence. It is within our right to create and abolish governments. When the government, of course, they prove themselves to be corrupted, to be way beyond. But this is something we should not have done, with just with superficiality. Okay, now I don't like today what's going on in government. We need to destroy. No, we don't want to destroy. We want to try to preserve this republic. At the same time, there is a point. As I said, no other country in the world has. The government stays within us, the people. That's why the people should be armed. That's the bottom line. So anyway, talking about that, with freedom comes responsibility. This type of right, it is not a game, it is not a joke. So that's why I really try to push myself to go out there and create classes and education. For example, don't forget about our free gun safety class. You can go to www.freegunsafety.com. This is something that is really free. I sponsor it out of my own love for America. I pay for it. Okay, my sponsors, mostly my companies, my products that you buy when you buy Zanna coffee, that allows me also to sponsor, free gun safety classes with firearms. So if you want to attend one of the free gun safety classes, go to www.freegunsafety.com. And also, of course, you can find out, email me, tell me I would like to join the next gun safety class, and I'll let you know where it's going to be. But more important now, we have also an Arizona concealed carry permit class, exactly the next Saturday, the 27th, in Lake Havasu with Against All Enemies. And it's exactly going to start at 12 o'clock, if I well remember. And I invite you to go to call Against All Enemies. It's located in Lake Havasu City, McCulloch Boulevard. I always forget the address, but my point is, I'll give it to you right now, the phone number. Limited seats. The class is very important, even if you do not want to have a concealed carry permit. I don't like the idea of permits. We don't even need it here in Arizona. That's a beautiful thing. Think about it. In this state, law-abiding person, if you're over 21, you can carry a gun without any type of permit. But still, it's something that education you should have, because you are responsible for every bullet coming out of the gun, but not just for the bullets, also for every time you display the gun, even for self-defense situation, or even just every time or everywhere, you may carry the gun. If you carry the gun in the wrong place, you can get in trouble. So we cover so many things, okay? When we come down to the type of information in these classes, they're about more than 5 hours long, and we go deep. And you also get a free PDF file with all the curriculum. And very important, I want to give you in this class information that is beyond just what the state requires to, let's say, how to carry a gun. But I want to give you also the idea what it means to carry a gun for self-defense, how to, let's say, take care of the gun, how to engage an opponent with the gun, and many other things we may not have the time to study, but at least I want to give you the opportunity to see what it takes or what it would take to, let's say, use the gun in a realistic situation. So we have a lot of good training. And the classes, by the way, this CCW class, I also offer a free seat or several free seats for single mothers. Yes, if you are a mother who have no husband or boyfriend, and of course you have children, guess what? If you are in an economic situation that you may need some help, no big deal. Just let us know. We will keep it very private, and you can come and attend the class completely free. That's the way we do business. If this is something, as I said, you see, I believe in helping others. I don't believe in government coercion. That's the way we can help each other. So my point is this. Of course, everybody else, we have incredible rates, $85 for the complete class. But if you bring a friend, you pay $20 off. Isn't that beautiful? Both of you. So $65. So it's incredible. I always have great fun. And by the way, my classes, they are non-stop. I had people sometimes say, oh my gosh, we don't have a lunch break. Listen, guys, you can have lunch break when you finish the class. I'm going to be with you one day. I want to give you every minute of the time, okay? That's the goal. So please, just bear with me. Suffer a little bit, because every second of information I give you, it is very important. Now, let's give you the phone number. If you want to attend this class, call Against All Enemies. Ask for Patrick. He can help you out to get the, hopefully you still have a seat. You can join us. 928-444-5778. 928-444-5778. Okay? All right, guys. A little break. Now we go a little bit into the hour of love. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with luca-zanna. Do not go away.
Are you ready to get lost in lust? Immerse yourself in a thunderstorm of emotions and passion. Order John luca-zanna's new book, Perfectly Crazy, 69 erotic visions and love poems with forbidden erotic Italian phrases. Perfectly Crazy by John luca-zanna. Available all over the world at Amazon.com and www.zanna.us.
Here we go. Welcome to the final part of the show. Today's show, this is the segment about love. As I said, the show is called Love, Guns, and Freedom. First part, normally we talk about freedom, things happening to us as humanity, and of course, as Americans. But I also like to talk about other nations, because I really believe, I said many times, if you believe in freedom, if you believe that you have individual rights, if you believe in the sovereignty of your own country, I believe that you really are a brother or a sister. That's the bottom line. And I think really you're facing the same type of problems. We are all facing the same type of problems. So the show, it's about freedom, the first part. Then we have, of course, the second part, a little bit about guns, and sometimes even more. We will go back more into training, by the way. I want to really talk more about next show about gun safety. Wherever you are in the world, I would like to give you all the information. You can at least learn how to be sure that whatever firearm you have in front of you, you are somehow in condition to understand it and to keep it safe, and eventually to even loaded it. That's the bottom line. But there is much more. And then the final part is about our humanity. I call it love. Sometimes we go from recipes, songs, serenades, even romantic side. You heard my little commercial, Perfectly Crazy. Yes, that's what I do for a living. At least one of the things I do for a living. I write poems, and I like to write erotic poems. I know many people may be kind of shy or maybe just disgusted. That's okay. I mean, I know I had somebody in the past, how dare you? I mean, what do you mean? I feel like a free human being, and I'm free to share my emotions and what I think. I never said that I was a saint, okay? So anyway, Perfectly Crazy is available on Amazon. Now, talking about Amazon, talking about this sort of digital conspiracy against free humanity. I told you what happened to me to one of my websites just last week, when somehow, because somebody in the security department found out that my name was linked to more than 12,000 URLs, one of the merchant accounts that somehow processed the credit cards for one of my many websites decided to shut me off without even letting me know. Call it coincidence? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't even think it was the fact that my name was linked to more than 12,000 URLs. Because, as I said, what if I was somebody even more popular out there? Shouldn't discriminate that. I think it's about the content of the URLs. You know who I am. I am not shy. I'm not afraid. I believe in what I believe, and you know very well. I believe in freedom. I do not believe in global government. I believe in sovereignty. I believe in individual rights. I don't belong to any party. I don't affiliate myself to any party. So I'm kind of a unique beast, if you want to say it. And I always say what I think, even when things are controversial. Okay, that's the bottom line. So I'm sure in somebody else's agenda, this doesn't fit the profile. So I wouldn't be surprised that somebody in that security department, as they call it, at this credit card processor, they didn't like who I am, and they shut me down without even a notice. This is very disgusting, but we will find out more with what type of recourse I have under the, let's say, under the rule of law. Let's see if there is any type of recourse. We will see. But now, meanwhile, talking about Amazon and other strange conspiracies, you know that I sell my coffee on Amazon.com. I started selling my coffee last month or so, a couple of months ago, Zanna coffee. And I had incredible reviews. I had, for example, on Scadi, the coffee that I launched, the last coffee I launched, about at least five stars reviews. Out of the blue, the other day, come back to Amazon, and there was only one review left. 4 reviews disappeared. Is this something that, should I just say, coincidence? I don't know. Well, I know that I need your help. If you're out there, go to Amazon.com. You can download any of my songs for 99 cents. You don't even need to order the coffee, especially if you are overseas or far away. I understand the shipping would be kind of difficult. But you can for sure download any of my songs for just 99 cents, or order the book Perfectly Crazy for $3.99, something like that. I think it's very affordable for sure. It's a digital book. And at that point, you please give me a review and let's see if what type of game Amazon is doing. I really believe we are living right now in a time where people like us, and I say us because I know if you're a listener, probably you're like me yourself, people who does not want to stay silent when we see the travesty, the injustice, and more important, the tyranny that we are facing as this new global government is upon us. The point is, they try to silence us. How? They will try in every way. First, they will make fun of us. They already did that. They tried. Guess what? It doesn't work. I couldn't care less, I remember years ago, 10 years ago, when I started to talk about chemtrails in my community, they thought I was crazy. They still think I'm crazy, some of them, but the reality now is that we start to see it. And so many other topics, So they will try to, first of all, make fun of us. Then, of course, they will try to put some pressure in some ways. And one of these ways is also the economic burden. Somehow on this digital world, they can somehow cut you off. That's the bottom line. That's why I always go out there and create new ideas, new products, because I believe in diversification. And I believe in your support. That's why this show, it is not about sponsors. It's about the news, the facts, my opinion, your opinion, freedom of speech, and at the end, your support. Everywhere you are, anywhere you are, just downloading the copy of Perfectly Crazy or music, lyrics and poems, another book you can find on Amazon. Of course, also my songs. You can download these songs. You can support this show. Kind of right. Anyway, now, meanwhile, I want to say one thing. Don't forget to also join my free dating website, freedomlovers.us. It's 100% free, www.freedomlovers.us. You don't need to just look for a date. You can just look for friends, for networking. It's completely free. No even credit card requested. That's my way to say thank you. Okay? Now, for today's show, that's enough. I'll talk to you next Sunday. I'm going to have an interesting guest, probably from Europe. And I'm going to give you more information about what's happening right now in America and around the world when it comes down to love, guns, and freedom. God's blessing to you, all of you guys, whatever God you believe. Ciao.